Hey everybody, welcome back to Bobo Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Conquest, and this is going to be day 2 of my efficiency guide on how I'm going to be running my account to get through Conquest as easily as possible. As I covered in day 1, when we get to those data disk nodes, we're still going to be looking to pick up the following data disks to get our data disk strategy online. They are Caustic Emissions, Thermal Exhaust, Amplify Agony, Volatile Accelerator, Ability Exhaust, and Booming Voice. Obviously, Booming Voice is a difficult one to pick up, so Perseverance, which will appear much more often, is also a viable second choice there. How I'm going to approach day 2 is to first go to Sector 1's boss node and do 3 fights there with bounty hunters. Then I'm going to go back into Sector 2, and because I've completed nodes 1 to 3 on day 1, I'm going to do node 4 before picking up the appropriate data disk. From there I'm going to go into nodes 5 to 9, choosing along the way whether I want to do the hard node or not based on the scavenger nodes that will be available, before picking the appropriate scavenger node. After this I will attempt the mini boss, and after I've beat the mini boss I'll be picking up the data disk from the post mini boss fight before checking the optional data disk that will become available. We know that CG are changing the layout for Conquest so that you don't have to choose between the scavenger or the data disk node, but we know that CG can be a little slow on implementing these changes, so we're basing this on them not changing it for this Conquest. After that I will do the appropriate node 11 to give me access to either the data disk or the scavenger node that I want. After this I'll do node 12 before picking a data disk, and then into nodes 13 to 16 before again picking a data disk. Then I'll go to nodes 17 to 21, following the same strategy as before to scout out the scavenger node at the end of these 4 nodes so I know which way I want to go. After that I'm going to do the boss node before picking the appropriate data disk, and then heading into Sector 3 to pick up the data disk there, and then doing the first node. I'm then going to take a little break until the evening. This is going to allow me to regenerate some energy and some stamina, which is more important, before doing 4 fights in the evening. That will be Sector 3 nodes 2 and 3 before going back to Sector 1 and doing 2 more fights with bounty hunters on the boss node. The teams I'm going to be using for day 2 are as follows. For the Sector 1 boss in the morning, I'm going to be doing 3 fights with Boss Lead, then Fennec Shand, Dengar, IG-88 and Sam Wessel. This is going to bring the stamina down on the whole team to 64%, but Zam will be a bit lower at 54%, and IG-88 will only be at 70%. I'll then be attacking the Sector 2 nodes with a variety of teams. Obviously I'm going to be picking the nodes that are appropriate for these teams, but this will be Jedi Master Kenobi, General Skywalker, R2-D2 and C-3PO, and Ki-Adi-Mundi. That's going to allow us to work on the armor shred and the stealth feats. If you use this team appropriately, you should be able to really hit those feats hard, because Gas and Ki-Adi-Mundi both have armor shreds on a special. C-3PO will start in stealth and his special will give another stealth. R2-D2 has a stealth on his special also, and then you have this interaction between Jedi Master Kenobi and C-3PO once someone has 3 stacks of translation, any basic C-3PO does, whether it's on his turn or from Jedi Master Kenobi calling him to assist, is going to reset those cooldowns. So you should be able to get maybe an extra stealth from R2-D2 or an extra armor shred from Ki-Adi-Mundi or General Skywalker. So that's a nice feat for progressing 2 feats as possible. We then will do 2 fights with Night Sisters. I don't want to put a lot of time into Night Sisters during this sector because I probably won't have the strong data disk strategy just yet, and honestly, Night Sisters aren't a great team. But if I can do 2 fights in here and progress the sector feat just a little in case I need it, then that's fantastic. Another team that is quite powerful is General Grievous with B1 Battle Droid, B2 Super Battle Droid, Magna Guard and Count Dooku. The reason we're using Count Dooku here is because he can apply stealth on his second special to General Grievous, B1 Battle Droid and himself. That combined with Magna Guard applying stealth to General Grievous, B1 and B2 at the start of the fight allows you to really ramp up the number of stealths that you can get done in this sector with just these teams. After using the previous 3 teams for progressing the sector feats, I'm going to be looking for just getting through the sector as efficiently as I can. So I'm going to use 3 very powerful teams. That's Lord Vader, Darth Vader, Admiral Piet, Royal Guard and Moff Gideon, which is going to bring their stamina down to 70%. I'm then going to do 2 fights with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, General Hux, Kylo Ren Unmasked, Sith Trooper and First Order Officer, bringing them down to 80% stamina, before 3 fights with Sith Eternal Emperor and the core package of the Sith Empire team, again bringing them down to 70% stamina. We're going to approach the mini-boss with Lord Vader lead and Royal Guard. That's going to give us the powerful Galactic Legend, especially if we have our data discs online. His AoE, going before the whole enemy team, can be devastating to how the mini-boss works. They might even just die the second they take a turn. But if they don't, we have that tanky pre-taunter in Royal Guard. We're going to then have Bosk, Dengar and Aura Singh in our team because that's what we need for the feat. This is going to bring Lord Vader and RG down to 60% stamina. They probably won't be at 60% stamina after this fight because we likely haven't done the full 3 fights with Lord Vader and Royal Guard before this point, but this will be their end stamina after I've finished day 2. Bosk will be down to 54% stamina, as will Dengar, with Aura Singh being down to 90% stamina. For the Sector 2 boss, we're going to be using the powerful package of the Mandalorians in Maul, the Armourer, Canderous Ordo. We're going to then use Wat Tambor also, and Mace Windu as he is required for the boss feat. This package is very powerful. Wat Tambor is going to start with a pre-turn, and that's going to give you the ability to put tech on someone. This tech will trigger Maul's Frenzy, and then that's going to allow you to take the first 5 turns in fact, of the fight. Maul will be able to then delete the most important person on the Asajj bounty hunter team, likely Asajj, and possibly 1, 2 or even 3 more characters, as he's going to take 4 turns himself, all of which will call the Armourer and Canderous to assist. Canderous will double or triple tap, and with our data disc strategy, that's a lot of damage. Canderous will also gain turn meter from his inflicting of dots, which is going to allow him to take a turn before the enemy team gets to move. So we should have severely crippled the enemy team before they get to do anything. We're then going to do 3 fights in Sector 3-2 with this Bad Batch team. This is unlikely to get 3 stars on nodes, but should get you 2 stars. Omega probably going to die. Well, my Omega probably going to die unless Echo is really outspeeding every team I fight. I'm then going to also do a fight with Rey, Mon Mothma, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, Kira and Sabine Wren. There is a little bug in Sector 3 and how the Rebel Fighter kills count. It counts currently when you kill any Rebel Fighter, so if you find a Mothma node, you can just farm that if you choose to do so. But also, if you have Rebel Fighters on your team, it doesn't matter who gets the kill in your team, it's going to count towards that sector feat. We've brought Kira and Sabine along, important that Sabine has the Zeta, so that as long as they get to take a turn and don't die instantly, both of them have an AoE stagger, and that's going to allow us to progress the stagger feat for this sector. I'm also going to do 2 fights in the evening on the Sector 1 boss with Jango Fett, Bosk, Fennec Shand, Sam Wessel and Dengar. These units should have recovered about 24% stamina from when I used them in the morning or on a previous day. So that will mean that this team will be down to 58% stamina, except for Fennec and Jango, who will still be up there at 68%. When we look at the energy breakdown for day 2, I should be carrying around 64 energy over from day 1. Approximately I'll accumulate 120 energy, and I'll be doing 3 crystal refreshes for 360 energy. That's going to give me 544 energy. I'm going to use a total of 500, which is going to allow me to roll over 44 energy onto day 3. After day 2, we should have progressed the following feats. We should be at 13 frenzies at a minimum in Sector 1, and all of the 14 battles with no supports completed. In Sector 2, we should have won our 20 fights without losing a unit. We should be at 5 wins with Night Sisters. We should be at least 20 armor shreds and at least 40 of the 60 required stealths. The Sector 3 feats, we should have done at least 10 staggers. I think more than that's unreasonable. 5 kills with Rebel Fighter units. That could be more depending on what the first nodes are. We should have 2 wins with the Bad Batch, and that should also mean that we get 10 defense up from the Bad Batch team. Our global feats also, we should be at between about 12 and 18 kills with Bobo and Jango. That can vary massively, but this is just honestly lowballing it. And then we should be at 8 wins towards our Bounty Hunter required 40 wins. Well, thanks for tuning into this video, and hopefully this approach for day 2 and how I'm going to be doing it has given you some ideas of what you can do for your roster and how you can be as efficient as you can in Conquest. As always, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share it around with any of your friends, your guilds or your arena shards. Feel free to join my Discord server, which should be linked in the description, and have a great day, and see you again tomorrow for day 3.